Hey, it is Michael. I want to get into a little bit about what's been happening. My biological family thinks they are the ones taking me to court, but really I am taking them. My mom, who suffers mental illness, which I'm never getting in a car with, and I know they're all seeing this, are leaving notes on my door when I'm telling them not to, reaching out to people that I know, um, wondering what I'm posting on social media, and they're changing my password still. And my mom is still buying things without my permission, and I'm using that in court. She suffers mental illness, and the majority of my family does, and I think all of them do. She thinks I'm going to speak to her when I've been taken to court by my own family, and I'm just not going to show up to the recent next court date. She wants what my dad left me, and she's never getting it. She's a gold digger. She didn't work the entire time I was in school, and my dad kicked her out of the house. She's definitely calling the officer I know from my childhood, who's my colleague, and I don't think anybody is professional because I will get people fired if I have to. And I don't care if you find out who I am. She's leaving notes when I'm telling her to stop on my door, and I'm not going to the next court date because none of them listened the first time. And my brother, he's out of my life. Like I said, he went to law school and he ruined it for me just having a few more friends. I have friends and all that. I'm not saying their names, but he tells people, meaning my brother, that he went to law school and takes his own blood to court even, and tries to scare people I hang out with just because we would drink and smoke. And he would also at his fraternity, all of them would. I'm not getting into that anymore. It was a horrible time. I hated going over there to the fraternity house. Until my family gets treated for mental illness, I'm not speaking to them. And like I said, what I said in court, none of them listened to me. And if any of my family members message you on social media, they'll look up definitely who I've been talking to you. Don't reply to them. My dad, he it wasn't really his fault for working at those places just to try to support a family. Like I said, he worked at luxury hotels, but people ask me for free stuff and it's disrespectful, and no one is ever allowed to get anything for free, with him being especially not here anymore. My dad kicked out my mom. She didn't work at all and hardly does. She doesn't see a doctor regularly, having bad hygiene also. And I know most of you don't know this. It could get you sick. And I'm not saying where I'm going. And the 70s was known for abuse, and my whole family was like that. And even if I would have been like just close with people I talked to back from school, and I graduated a long time ago, but not all of them would have went home because I don't want to get into much of this. But my dad's whole side of the family were drunks and smoked cigs. It would have smelled terrible, and they didn't take care of their hygiene either. I'm not going to the court date that my family scheduled, and like I said, I said it 3 years ago in court, and my brother's, I'm not speaking to him because he takes his own blood there. And my mom, she was in one of those videos I was in with Nelk, and she is just jealous like all of them because I met influencers, and I don't want to get into all of it, but none of my family members are fit people, meaning stable. I don't want to talk too much about it because I mentioned it before, but I'd have to keep you all updated. And like I said, the officer from my childhood, it's disturbing his schedule, and his people also lie, meaning the police, that I know him from my childhood. And I think a lot of you don't realize that they use fake names, and people like that protect themselves from getting fired from their jobs. And like I said, I'm not showing up to the court date. I don't care. I can't talk to people from my past because of how abusive my family is. And I just want to explain a little bit about who I met one time. I don't know him, anything like that, but I ran into Nelly at a place I used to work at in the casino. And yeah, it's a coincidence with him living in St. Louis and me as well. I don't remember exactly what I said to him, but I said to other people, leave him alone with him being that high profile. I was just thinking about it recently, and he was by himself, meaning Nelly, and he doesn't want to be bothered or talk about the business he's in. I'm not saying he's a bad person with him going to jail before, but he got arrested over the summer, this past one, and I don't know what he had. It could have just been someone in his group having the drugs, and he's just responsible for them, meaning Nelly. And this was just a very long time ago when I ran into him, and I said hi to him, and he did say, "What's up," back, because he heard me being like, leave him alone. And I'm just trying not to keep this video very long, but people like that are just responsible for everyone in their group. And it was cool running into Nelly. I just don't remember everything I said to him. Things are just not good with my biological family. They protect themselves, and I'll get them fired from their jobs. And like I said earlier, my brother just ruins it for me having friends and just certain people to talk to with him going to law school. His wife, who I never speak to, I've known the people in his fraternity house longer, and also that I went to school with, and I'm not speaking to them with him acting the way he is. And she works for for a place with people with disabilities, and tries to get people taken to a hospital on purpose. And I'm not explaining much of my situation, and I did live in Chicago, and I was lied to, acting like it was going to be better. And I deleted all my social media. It's not fair that I get spied on by my biological family, and they didn't have the internet back in the 70s, and now all of them are addicted to it basically and will stalk us. And even if I'm cool with any of you who comment on here, and I looked at your comments and I'm just going to remove them if you insult what I'm saying. Somebody would message you from my family and just don't answer them if they do. And I'm just trying to explain what I'm dealing with, and I'll stop saying it. I'm not showing up to the court date, and it's just never ending. And until my family gets their mental illness treated regularly, I'm not seeing them. And there are some lawyers that I know, but I'm not using them with them going where my brother went to law school, and they'll definitely tell everything I say to them because they say things like, I have to tell them, and that's not professional. And I just have to be alone right now. And if you want to comment, and if it's something where you're insulting me, I'm just going to delete it. And it's basically all over with my dad dying, the places he worked at, and it's disrespectful asking if anybody can like even work where my dad worked at, and I'm not allowing it ever. I don't want to get a bunch of messages asking where he worked at, and he worked at several places. I'm just trying to think of what I have to say before I go. And just people stay up at night for work, and it's my choice if I do. Like I said, I worked that security job. It was horrible, and I worked overnight. And I don't get why police question you when you're walking at night in the county here when there's downtown, and yes, it's dangerous. And I don't think I could trust people like that with me knowing the officer from my childhood and them having to use fake names. And I'll just turn my comments off if you still don't understand my situation. And it's just not good, and I have to just be alone. And you could comment and I'll try to reply, but I have been seeing doctors, and they don't need, meaning the doctors need to hear what you say a bunch of times because they went to medical school. And my grandpa suffered Alzheimer's, and I believe the elderly members of my family do. They can't remember anything I say, and I'm not getting into my situation with me being on Nelk anymore for a long time. It makes me uncomfortable, and I pick out who's deserving, and so do other people. Like I said, when I ran into Nelly. And if you just think I'm imagining things, I've experienced this because I've lived life, and I guarantee none of you get treated as much for mental illness. And none of you also have permission to contact the officer I know. And I'm not saying when he works or who his supervisor is, and he's there to help me. And I'm just thinking of what I'm trying to say before I go, and I can't respond to everybody all the time, and people who work can't either. And I'm just tired of how this is, and I'm signing off. Just stop worrying about me, especially when I don't know you, and it's my business, so I'd like to be left alone. And if you don't have anything nice to comment, just don't. I'll delete it, and I'm signing off.